My Action Research Project by Lauren Williams. My action research statement. I wanted to explore further the impacts on academic learning and understanding that handheld devices have. I wanted to see if there was a specific content that affected whether or not children would improve their academics or hinder their academics based on what they were engaged in on handheld devices at home. My action research problem. Students in the 21st century are becoming more technology-based. Technology has increased in the classroom and school setting as well as in the home environment. With this increase, many students are spending more time on handheld devices and less time reading books and participating in their homework or spending leisure time outside. It is interesting to investigate further whether the content that they are participating in on these handheld devices affects their academic achievement. Some children spend time on handheld devices watching educational videos and playing educational games, but some students play games and watch videos that are not relevant to learning. This is why I'm wondering, will this affect their academic learning? Having these two categories of content knowledge could affect their academic understanding. So my research question is, does the content that primary students participate in on handheld devices influence their academic understanding? I chose to focus on primary students because this is the crucial age range that affects their building blocks of their learning. So this would focus primarily on students in kindergarten to grade 3. Some research sub-questions that I had for my research study would be, what content are children most frequently exposed to when on handheld devices at home? Are students' test scores impacted from screen time with handheld devices? Does watching educational videos and playing educational games benefit students' early learning? Are there learning opportunities in games that are not designed for learning? So this would focus on the games that are not specific to education, but whether or not there is some sort of learning that can be done for students in these types of games. Another question would be, are parents supervising the content that children are participating on handheld devices? And are parents concerned about their children's amount of time spent on handheld devices? Some definitions and relevant terms. Academic understanding. A deep approach requires substantial effort in, for example, relating ideas and using evidence, but each discipline and subject area also requires specific skills and strategies to reach academic understanding. So to summarize that, it's the amount of knowledge that children are gathering through academic activities. Content, the subject or topic covered in a book or document, the chapters or other formal division of a book or document. Handheld devices. A handheld device is a portable device that can fit in the palm of one's hand, primarily used for such as computer or electronic devices that is compact enough and portable and may contain cellular communication, but this category is also including computers. Assessment, the evaluation or estimation of nature, quality, or ability of someone or something. Technology, the sum of the ways in which social groups provide themselves with a material object or their civilization. Primary, a primary school is a school in which children receive primary or elementary education from the ages of 5 to 12 years old, coming after preschool and before secondary school. Mobile learning is personal and public technology that can contribute to the process of gaining new knowledge, skills, and experiences. Educational technology is technology that is used in the classroom which benefits student learning. Annotated bibliography source number 1, Educational Technology and Effective Use. This is a study that shows the positive effects of technology integration into the classroom. It speaks about the different types of technology that is in the classrooms now, which would be cameras, interactive whiteboards, tablets, and laptops. The study looked primarily at primary students as well as some junior students and found that elementary schools benefited more academically to the use of technology for educational purposes than those in the higher grade. When reviewing pre- and post-assessments with the connection to technology, the results showed that there was a positive effect on students' learning outcomes when they were engaged in technology. Educational technology has shown positive effects not only in academically in the classroom, but also in building skills in the students. Students are more engaged in their learning, building relationships through collaboration, increase problem-solving skills, allowing for differentiated instruction, promote critical thinking and creativity, and begin to reflect on their learning. Annotated bibliography, source number 2, Learning at Home. This source was a research study that was conducted for the educational purpose of connecting home use and to learning. The study surveyed parents of children ages 2 to 10, focusing primarily on their screened media in the home environment. Screened media was referred to as televisions, DVDs, video games, books, e-readers, smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices. The study showed that students who used educational media for a short term in fact did better in school than those who did not. Statistics from this study showed that 44% of the screened media that children between 2 years old and 10 years old was in fact used for educational purposes, and most parents believed that their children were learning from the use of their screened media, and that the children were engaged in the screen time. Annotated bibliography number 3, Mobile Learning. So this article talks about mobile learning in the sense of phones, MP3 players, PDAs, tablets, and iPads. It involves the design of how technology and classroom management understanding work well together. And it believes that mobile technology is used not only to deliver learning, but also to facilitate learning. Mobile learning and the use of technology should be used to enhance activities across all learning objectives. My literature summary. In the 21st century, screen media incorporated into all. The most common screen media that has been implemented across all classrooms is the use of a smartboard or a whiteboard. The smartboard is used to allow teachers to project lessons onto the board as well as have interactive games for learning. Also in classrooms, iPads and Chromebooks have been increased, and Chromebooks are just a version of laptop that allows students to research further to enhance their projects, representation of their understanding, and collaboration through work with others. Teachers' perspectives. Teachers have identified a concern in the use of technology in their classrooms due to lack of understanding. They believe that technology has a great effect on the classroom environment and the learning skills of their students, but they have a hard time implementing it as they feel like they do not have enough knowledge themselves. So I feel like principals are required to provide workshops and teachers are involved in workshops so that they can enhance their learning for not only themselves, but for their students. Many articles have shown the increase in academic knowledge with their students who participate in screen time media for educational reasons. They believe that students who participate in short periods of screen time content that is educational are able to stay focused and engaged in the content for longer periods of time. iPads and students with special needs. iPads are also incorporated in the classroom for a self-regulation break tool for some students. Students who have been identified use iPads as a communication device as well as a break, so this will allow them to participate in scheduling, motivating systems, academic skills, communicating, video modeling, data collection, and leisure activities. Parents and screen time involvement. Based on the articles that I found, parents are involved quite often in the participation of screen time activities at home. Most parents are concerned about the content that their children are watching, and therefore they do supervise and ensure that there is a restriction to what they have been watching. So my action plan. So my data sources will be assessment, test scores, self-reporting, and a survey that the parents will complete. The assessments will be done by the researcher who would attend the classroom and observe the learning that is partaking in the class. Test scores will be collected from the teacher to see whether or not the students are high academically or low academically. Students will also be completing a written analysis of how they feel as a student related to how they feel academically, as well as their participation in screen time. And parents will be involved in completing a survey that will acknowledge their restrictions and understanding of screen time media and how it affects their child's academics. The triangulation, so again, I said parents' perspectives, test scores, and student conversations. I feel like all of these are an important source to have as a data collection, as they all provide different aspects for this research study. So we need to know how parents feel and whether or not parents are restricting their children. We need to know how children feel about it. And then we also need to have concrete knowledge of their academics and whether or not if there could be a correlation between the amount of screen time they're participating in and whether or not they have high or low test scores. The validity, so this will take place in the classroom as well as in the home. The parents will have personalized assessments for them to complete on their own time, but the test scores will be related to the surveys completed. So the participants will be the teachers, the students, and the parents, and the settings will participate will be at the home environment as well as in the classroom. For ethical conditions, the survey will respect all participants. Any surveys that will be completed will either be in a sealed folder for confidentiality, or if they are done online, there will be a locked password folder. All surveys will be in multiple languages for better understanding of all parents. And when reporting on any information from this data research, all names will be kept confidential and use abbreviations so that no names are disclosed to the public. The timeline for this research study would start in September, where the test scores are being collected. This will allow the students to gradually enter their classroom environment and get used to that. And then as we get closer to the middle of the year, test scores will be analyzed as well as parent surveys will be completed. And then from there, the conferences will just gradually continue. In conclusion, overall, I feel this research study will find a positive correlation between the content students participate in and how they do academically. A positive connection related to the academics will ensure that students are gaining more knowledge outside of the classroom on handheld devices. This research study will help myself in the future as a teacher, as I will be able to ensure that I can provide my students with positive handheld device activities that they can participate in, not only in the classroom, but also in their home environment. When looking at anything I would change in my research study, I would probably have to change my time span and expect different time slots for gathering stuff and validating the sources of technology. Overall, I feel like my research study is a very strongly put together study, and I feel like it could be a very well-rounded research study when and if ever conducted. And that is my research study. Here are my references. And that is all for my research study. And that was by Lauren Williams. Thank you.